Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Yo, welcome back, everyone, to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We are back in effect, at least for a couple days anyway. My name is Neil Rule. Next to me, the guy on the left here, four-time Stanley Cup champion. Of course, he is D-Mac, Darren McCarty. We have a packed house in here today. You know it's Monday. Uncle T-Foss is in the chair. Everybody, gather around. T-Foss will have some stories for you later on.
Can I just say, shout out to the fans for Friday. You missed it. That we got, what did we, I think we ended up with 180 likes, and I chair shot Easy. That's what the chair was over there for, is that Easy took a chair shot. I don't know. I haven't seen him. I know the second one on the ground hit him in the head, so maybe knocked some sense into him. But we had some fun here. So it proved, thank you to everybody out there, the Big D Energy family, for doing it. But let's do it again. I'm not going to hit anybody else in here with the chair, but I'll go hit Easy again with the chair.
I'm agreable to that. There is no doubt. There is no doubt about that. We got Sam Flannel in the house. You know our guy Sawyer is here as well.
Sam Flan.
I love it.
Yeah. Tap in on the YouTube chat thread as well. That's always going on. The podcast page as well, Big D Energy on iTunes, wherever you get your podcast from. Tap into that, rewind, fast forward. Shows on your terms, however you want to do it. We're just happy that you are doing it. Big weekend in the past. And T-Foss, you know that D-Mac laced them back up over the weekend, the frozen fish fiasco. And how'd it go, D-Mac?
We had Steve from the Greatest Wrestling Collection, DWC, on last. Oh, can you see this? It's my new belt. It's my new belt because I'm a belt collector. I got my black one. Both games, it was cold. It was cold in the D on Saturday night, Terry. My fingers, I'll tell you this right now. Be careful out there, and it's not just sort of frostbite, but, I got a little bit of circulation issues or whatever, but there's nothing worse. I'd rather take a chair shot to the head than having your hands freeze, your fingers freeze, and then thaw them out. So make sure you take care. As you can see some of the pictures. There's a picture up right now of old habits dying hard. You can see me back checking to the net. So picked up a few belts. The boys, Sunday's game, outdoor Clark Park. There's a shot of Tammy and I and the D-Mac disciples. So mission accomplished. I just say that the mission was accomplished. I got the belt, and we'll be looking to redeem ourselves again next year. Let me put that down.
So
all fun had by all, and proceeds down to Clark Park. Shout out to Ziggy Gonzalez and all the friends and family down there. It was a fun weekend.
It did look cold, man. It just looked cold in those pictures.
It was cold because the sun went down. But, the glare on the ice for the 1 o'clock game on Sunday, but being down in the city of Detroit, outdoor skating, playing a game, it was awesome. And shout out to, we had the Godfather and Rhino dropping the pucks for each game.
So what do you cherish most, the belt there or the Stanley Cup?
Yeah. No, it's it's definitely the cups, Terry. But different category for all these belts. But they're slowly, I'm tired of collecting rings. Right? You know what I'm saying? I got to put them away. I collect all these rings, then they don't let me play with them, so at least I can put the belts on display and stuff, so I figured that out.
Detroit Dabber 313 says, nice hardware you got going on there, D-Mac. Certainly that is the case. Tammy Chin. Morning, Neil. Welcome back. Darren, Sam, Sawyer, T-Foss, etc. Appreciate it. It's good to be back. Got some Lions draft questions that are coming in. Mike Burnham, what do you honestly think we should do with that 31-32 pick if Malik Willis is available? You guys know where I've been with this. We've talked about it, where prep yourself and wrap your head around the fact they're going to take a quarterback with one of those picks. They just are. But we'll get into that a little bit later on.
Willis. He's going to be gone by 12 or 13.
Yeah, I agree, because we're seeing it, and that's the one constant I've had. The quarterbacks inch their way up and inch their way up. But we'll discuss that a little bit later. I got a lot of cross comparisons with the Bengals and the Lions that we will
You
touch
were out
on.
doing some due diligence. And people think that honestly, on his way back from having we were telling everybody you had gypsy vodka on the beach. We couldn't figure out what beach it was, but on your way back, you were doing some work.
I
were doing some work. You were doing some deep diving in.
I was.
But you can't undersell that, Neil.
Well, D-Mac, I like to go to the people.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to go to the streets.
You and I both.
Yeah, the streets.
You and I both. Men
the
of the
streets
people.
tell the tale.
Well, we learned that from T-Foss.
Absolutely.
The man,
T-Foss
right.
operates in the streets. That's a lesson I learned from you, T.
It's all about the people. And the other thing, people think that Neil is just a cutie pie that just kind of shows up and does things. No, he's a grunt. He's a grunt, man.
He is a grunt.
I'm about the
Don't
back
let the
channel.
voice fool you.
Yeah,
Don't let
I'm
the
about the back
salty
channel. I'm
tone.
about the streets. I'm about being in the establishments with the people. That's how I operate. But I did do some reconnaissance work as well. I had to fly to Cincinnati last week for work. So I came across some Bengals fans in the airport. We had a discussion. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. Lots of Harbaugh talk too, and I need everyone to kind of identify themselves with Michigan and Harbaugh and this whole coordinator situation. We'll discuss that coming up in about 10 minutes or so. But over the weekend, there was a lot going on that wasn't football, and we got our first taste of the non-football life, unless you want to count the Pro Bowl or whatever. I delved into some NASCAR last night out of respect for Sawyer and the quarter mile with Sawyer. I watched the Clash. We'll discuss that a little bit later on as well. But the NHL All-Star Game and the Pro Bowl. And you guys know how we like to do it. We like to do these little polls on our YouTube channel. We got one up right now that we're going to pop up there right now. Sawyer, if you had to go, death's not an option. You got to go to one. Are you going to the NHL All-Star Game?
Say that because Terry took death. That's why we had to make death not
no
an
bullets
option.
to the head,
I
Terry.
take a bullet to the face.
Yeah, no, that was not an option. You have to go to the Pro Bowl or to the NHL All-Star Game. Which one are you taking? I think I know which way people will go, but we'll see where it's at. T, that NHL All-Star Game, not feeling it, man. I like All-Star games.
You were being nice. It was brutal.
It was brutal. There you go.
I made a mistake and watch. See, tradition. I don't watch All-Star games because they all suck, except for baseball. But I watched like 5 minutes of the NHL All-Star game. And I'm like, what are they doing? Figure skating? I mean, nobody was attacking. It's 3-on-3, and they're just kind of, skating around
Glorified
like girls.
shinny by the best players in the world. It is what it is. It's entertaining. You
Which
mentioned
is
it.
fine.
The only All-Star game in the major four sports that's worth anything because they play for something, right? And the skills is baseball, and that's been pretty much consistent over time from back in the day when Pete Rose ran over the catcher in the All-Star game to win, right? Like there's
Young
some,
Ray Fosse. Yes,
yeah,
I remember
right.
that.
There's some.
But here's the thing about the All-Star game: you get the best players in the world not doing what made them the best players in the world.
No, but it's mostly the skill. It's a skills competition. That's all it is. And then they've changed it. We talked about it, what they've done. They've made it a glorified overtime 3-on-3 to try to make it more entertaining. And it's an ultimate skills competition because you don't put the best team out there and stuff like this. You don't. The guys that are out there aren't the guys that are grinding it out and doing the third and fourth line stuff. These are the guys that they want to display, hey, look at all the talent we have. I get it. I don't watch. It's not my game. I'll pick up the highlights. I mean, watched a couple great shootout goals and the way that they've created. It's just the evolution of the game. It's not my game. It's never been that sort of way. It's just a glorified
Baby
outdoor
boy,
shinny.
why do they have 3-on-3 in overtime in the NHL?
For the entertainment factor.
And you create more scoring opportunities.
Right. Open up the ice.
This one, yeah, they're doing everything but attacking the net. I mean, they would just take they
Well, that's the
cross
new NHL too. Like even back in the day when we would play 3-on-3, it's sort of attack and attack and attack. Now it's attack. You don't like it, circle back. It's all about puck possession. It's a different sort of game. But in the All-Star game, it's about skills, right? It's a skills. I don't know. It's just you might as well throw it out. Maybe more entertaining if you threw it out on one of the lakes.
See, here's the thing, though. I used to really dig All-Star games. I went to the NHL All-Star game when I was down in Fort Lauderdale about 15 or so years ago, whenever that was. I like them, and I like the NBA All-Star game, and I used to like them because they did play a game. They would try stuff they would never try in a regular game, which I thought was entertaining. And then at the end, in the last 5 minutes, they would turn it up a couple notches, and they would get after it and get competitive because these guys are the biggest competitors in the world. They don't want to lose. My problem with, and I knew that the NHL All-Star game in our little poll here was gonna get all the votes, and right now 88% to 12%. But I'm serious. I hate the format that they do, this divisional thing, and there's multiple games and stuff like that. The Pro Bowl is at least there's a semblance of what the game is. The baseball All-Star game is the same way. The NBA All-Star game is the same way. It's like a semblance of the game, and the guys go out there and try some stuff. And I don't know why this is the NHL, where they did the world versus America, then they do the divisions against each other, and then what was so wrong about the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference? What was so wrong about that?
It wasn't, but probably people weren't watching. People don't care.
They don't watch and they don't care about this. And there's 3 games in a day, and I don't understand it, Terry. I would go to the Pro Bowl 100 times out of 100.
Right. Here's what I would do to spice up the NHL weekend. You have the skills competition, fastest skaters.
Have it at the Sun Bowl?
Yeah.
Shooting, skills competition, shooting the puck for accuracy. I'd have a fighting thing. Get the best fighters out there, kick each other's ass. See who's at the head of the table at the end of that. Why not? Because a lot of people show up.
I'll tell you this: you get more people to watch. If you implied that as one of the All-Star competitions, you get viewership. You bring over some of the box and UFC fans.
See, here's the thing we get too. And Pistons Fan 11, our YouTube chat thread, says the Pro Bowl is not football. The NHL All-Star game ain't hockey.
No, they're both not. Baseball's the only one. The NFL's it's a glorified walkthrough. The NHL's so far behind that they just keep shooting darts at the wall to try to get people to be entertained. So I don't know what to tell you. The answer to that question is, what city is it in? Because I'm going to the city I want to go to, and whatever that's there, it's second nature. Right, but it's not must-see TV. And to Terry's point is that, I'll flick on the Major League Baseball All-Star game because at least there's they have some jam to compete, right? You're going to see the Scherzer out there trying to strike out the side. You're going to see, guys going up there trying to hit bombs and stuff like that. There's more competitive.
Well, that's
nature.
like the NBA All-Star game. At the end, they do lock in for that last 5 minutes.
That's a joke, too. Because here's why I hate the NBA All-Star game. I get too much of this. Everybody's smiling.
It's a friends fest. The All-Star games are all it's all the guys that know each other rekindling or meeting or the top guys. It's never the guys that are going to end up in the wars and the battles and stuff like this. Very rarely.
A lot of love for the NBA skills contest as well. The dunk contest has ran its course, but the three-point contest is still legit, Terry.
I suppose.
3-point, hey, but you know what? It doesn't matter any All-Star game, right? What we're talking about, stuff like that. You need your hair done. And no matter what, Super Bowl's coming up, fellas. Football season's almost over. But it's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get your Lady Jane's haircuts for men. You walk in, you relax. You watch your favorite team play. Now you got the Olympics on, you got replays, whatever you want to do, because there's TVs right there in front of the ladies, and get the King's treatment. Get that. How many times a day do we watch somebody getting that scalp massage you wish you could have? Well, you can come in here anytime. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, T Foss, D Mac here on a Monday. Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster here in the house, Sam Flannel, Sawyer. The whole squad is here today. We are back in effect. I'll be in tomorrow as well with D-Mac. Then I step out again for travel for Oakland. That's the last road trip of the year, though, D-Mac. So after that, up until March Madness, we're locked in. We are ready to go. Lots of news out of the University of Michigan. Josh Gattis leaving Michigan as the OC, now going to be the OC at the U at Miami. And Terry, it was interesting to me to see the fallout from that news, because certainly Gattis won the Broyles Award. Michigan fans certainly were grateful for his work and big fans of Josh Gattis and everything like that. And then the news pops that he's leaving for Miami, and all of a sudden it wasn't Gattis that did anything. It was the plays, it was Harbaugh's plays, it was the system, it was all that kind of stuff. And for me, Terry, a lot of Michigan fans, too, would call it a lateral move or a downgrade or something like that. And for me, it's one of those things where I think that we're seeing the movement in the underbelly of college football. And, people send in the tweets, a lateral move to a bad program. And it just, for me, Terry, I expected that to some degree from some Michigan fans. But remember, too, Miami's won like 5 of the last 33 national championships, or 5 of the last 39 national championships, whatever that number is. I mean, there are a lot of similarities between Miami and Michigan. And to take that a step further, if you look at what Miami's done with the name, image, and likeness, what they've done with University of Miami health systems now, adding hundreds of millions of dollars to their athletic budget, which really means football. They went and they took Mario Cristobal from Oregon, Terry.
Right.
It wasn't like it was from UTEP. They took him from Oregon. Like, just went in and took him. Some schools, Terry, they're not playing around anymore. The Texas A&Ms, the Miamis, things like that.
Things have changed. They're spending millions of dollars. In Michigan, I think they want to do it the old way, because that's just what Michigan does. Michigan doesn't have to do what everybody else does. That's their mentality. It's going to nip them in the bud. If you want to call it a lateral move, I'll agree with that. But here's the thing that you need. With the stuff that Miami is doing and the way Michigan is handling things, who has a better shot at winning a national championship, Miami or Michigan? I would say it's Miami, because you're going to get that Southern talent. You need to get the right person down there. Maybe Cristobal is that correct guy. Josh Gattis, who sucks now, was only like the assistant coach of the year nationally. So he must be doing something right. But that's what Michigan people do. You need to calm down, Neil. Here's what happens. Pookie McGillicuddy says, I'm going to go to Michigan. I'm a 5-star. And Michigan people are like, damn, look what we got. He picked Michigan over Alabama, Georgia, Michigan State. Our program is relevant. And then a few weeks later, Pookie changes his mind. You know what? I'm not going to Ann Arbor. I think I'm going to go to Georgia now. Well, Pookie sucked anyway. He's not going to help our program. That's what they do.
I like you know how Pookie is, man.
You know what? Poor Pookie, but you know what I mean? He did it to himself. But here's the one thing, I think it's bigger than that, right? What to me is, whether is this just smoke or whatever like this, but does that mean that Mario Cristobal and that Miami program, and I know we'll talk about it more, is doing the things that we're talking about what Michigan should do? Because is that more glaring on the program not getting involved in the NIL deal, getting involved in the portal, whereas as far as it tells me that to lure somebody away, and if we think it's a lateral move or whatever, but there's got to be something bigger, opportunity bigger, players bigger. So to me, it just speculate that Miami's like, we're throwing the bag at everybody. And they sort of started proving that last year. Weren't they one of the first in the NIL to pay $500 for some workout thing for all? And Eric King, who was their quarterback, spreading out money. So that's the new process. Now, we've said it all along, is with Harbaugh coming back to compete at that higher level. Will they get that? I think it's more glaring on what Miami or what are the teams that are going to pop out, from this NIL and take advantage, or at least try to jump ahead. And that's what this move seems to me. And it's interesting, too, because, okay, so you're losing, but what's next for Michigan, right? Is there somebody in place? Do they have somebody in place to fill the job? That's what the good organizations do. You look at the Red Wings. They lose Pat Verbeek as the number 2 guy. Boom, Sean Horkoff is inserted in there. That's been biding his time. So to me, it's more glaring to what Michigan or what they're talking about is going to do. And obviously it shows me more of what Miami and what is sort of promised. Because how do you leave that program?
Here's the bottom. Stone Age football is done. So Michigan's going to have to either deal with the NIL, deal with the transfer portal, or guess what? They'll become Central Michigan.
It's more glaring to me when things like this happen, because especially when you view it as a lateral move, right? When you view it as a lateral move, well, you're not seeing the real big picture because it's not.
Bingo, D-Mac. That's exactly where we knew this was going to happen. And Grom at 0237, Gattis, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out.
Yeah, but you say that, but do you say that now? Because here's the thing. The difference between the Harbaugh team and the Michigan team last year seemed to be the connection between their head coach and the teammate. And to me, that was because of the coaching staff that was younger, former players, former guys that have been there. And Jim realized that. Now, if he's losing these guys, what's he replacing it with? Because you still need that connection. And I'm sorry, I think Jim Harbaugh is trying to be the cool old guy that doesn't have a clue without being told, hey, coach, swerve right here. Just trust me. And he trusts his guys. So that's what bigger picture to the culture, to what's going on. But it's more glaring to me to what Terry said. Is Michigan going to stay in the dark age? Because now more than ever, Terry, would you agree that this isn't the time to be resting on your old laurels from 50 years ago? You got to speed ahead.
Terry,
it's like the old guy that says, I'm going to do my job, but I'm not going to use the computer. I'm going to stay on the typewriter because it works. It works for me.
I got the pencil. Can I get the sharpener? Right. And they have a pencil sharpener anymore?
Out.
Juice's Ghost on our YouTube chat thread. His scheme fits better down there in Florida, in my opinion. Naki23, Gattis is a Southern boy. Goodbye. YT Sparty says the Rats leaving the ship in Ann Arbor. Harbaugh just has no way out. Gator Raider says Miami would be a better job than Michigan based on recruiting location, in my opinion. So, Terry, I pose a question to you. This whole Harbaugh thing, and I came out from the beginning and talked about the fact that he was very upfront about it. I feel like there were no surprises, that he did what he said he was going to do, that he did what he told recruits he was going to do, where he looked into the NFL thing. Things didn't work out for whatever reason. They didn't work out. But has this whole situation affected all this to where now you've lost both the coordinator positions are empty right now? And to me, it seems like a lot of glossing over, and Charles McLean says Ron Bellamy or Mike Hart for OC. It's not that easy, Terry. You snap your finger and Mike Hart's an offensive coordinator. Like it's not that easy.
They don't want to do that. Then he'd have to answer questions. They'd have to put him at the podium.
And I think this year in particular, the younger coaches like Josh Gattis and Mike Hart and everything, they saved Michigan's program because they identified with the players 100%. Better. I think the players responded to their assistant coaches. So you don't want to start losing these guys. You're running the risk. The other thing with the NIL and the transfer portal and everything, Michigan can't just recruit the same way it's done over the years and not play the game. The game has changed. Back in the day with Bo, it was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And Bo would say, you know what? I don't pass the ball because when you pass the ball, 2 out of 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad. Well, Michigan evolved from that. They passed the football and stuff. But now it's all about athletes want to get paid. And I'm not going to Michigan if you're not going to give me anything.
And that is the case. Charles says it's easier for Miami to win in the ACC than in the Big Ten. Miami only has to deal with Clemson. We only have to deal with Ohio State,
Michigan State too.
Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State. And you have Clemson in there, and it's funny to me, Terry, too. Like the talk about that, where I can't get past that, where people view this as such like a downgrade for Josh Gattis, because Clemson had an awful year, and we're 10-3, won a bowl game.
Yeah, because they weren't 13-0.
One of the losses was to Georgia, 10-7 at home or 10-3 at home or whatever it was.
Right. When you look at the Big Ten, all you got to do is beat Ohio State and Michigan State. And I guess maybe Penn State, they're all right.
No. I draw the line there.
Oh, that's right. That's your
I draw the line there. Hey, Penn State, Iowa, no.
Terry, what do you do? So a lot of the things, too, is, there's a name coming across here. What do you know about this Tyler Van Dyke, who's this quarterback? Because it's sort of – now we're talking about, because this ain't the quarterback class, but what's sort of coming down the road and stuff like this. So you got to look at what Miami has or what Cristobal's telling Gattis that he's going to get to deal with. And immediately, right, if you're an offensive coordinator, to me that says, okay, does that mean Cade, there's something with JJ that he'd rather go and work with this other kid, maybe he's the new wonder kid, and it's Tyler Van Dyke in Miami, than it would continue to work with the system. There's something telling there too.
It is weird, Terry. And I guess that's a question. Did the Harbaugh situation play a hand in all this? I mean, let's bottom line this, T. Did the whole Harbaugh thing play a factor in this with Gattis? Because I saw somebody on here too. I think it was I forget exactly who put this comment in there. I saw it kind of fly by, where they said maybe Gattis sees the path for promotion better at Miami. He's never going to be the head coach at Miami either. If things go according to plan, if things go well, if Gattis stays employed, Cristobal saved the program, right? That's how it's going to be viewed down there, where he, the former Hurricane came back and he got everything rolling again. They pumped money into the program, and now boom, they're contending for national titles again, like they were back in the day.
Maybe Cristobal is a guy that might leave. He may not stay there forever. Now Jim Harbaugh has said, you never have to worry about me looking at the NFL again. So maybe Gattis believed him. Said, okay, he's going to stay here. Maybe he's a Wolverine for life. When Jim Harbaugh took this job, some of us assumed he was a Wolverine for life. Now, he had his little déance with the NFL. The NFL said no to him. Maybe that door is closed, and Gattis realizes, you know what? Harbaugh is a Wolverine for life.
9 drinks. What? You always have to deal with Iowa and Penn State. Really?
Yeah, that Penn State game was really compelling in the Big Ten championship game.
I know, right? Tell me a big Iowa win. I'll wait.
But that's a great point you brought up, though. Is this the Harbaugh shuffle, the foot in, foot out? Is this like this? Do the coaches go, I ain't doing this? Is there something that the conversations down in Miami, as Cristobal's looking at NFL, Gattis sees it earlier, or is it also, too, road less traveled? If you only have, which is a great point in the ACC, Clemson as your Ohio State, right? There's a lot of this that'll play out. And then you go to, as I see Don Burr, who's always putting in and he could be right. Tyler Van Dyke could be the talk of the show or the next up-and-comer. To me, it's more fire down there that this is more of the truth, or what Josh Gattis does to see this opportunity. It's more of a stepping stone to get caught in the vortex of the Harbaugh garbage.
Brad Clark, Neil Rule knows less than nothing about sports and even less about football. Of course, the Lions are not taking a quarterback. Okay. We'll see. We'll see about that. You know what you should see about? Cintron World. It's an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand. A line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron, the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Proud partners with the Pistons and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and of course, great taste, Cintron is the top choice. Buy online at Cintron World with the promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Terry Foster, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. Sam Flannel. We got Sawyer. Don't worry, Sawyer. We're gonna talk NASCAR a little. I watched the whole clash.
Sam Flannel, I love it.
I watched the whole clash, man.
I respect that. Good man.
You proud of me,
Good
man?
Oh yeah. No, that means it was a pretty good event. If Neil could watch all of it, didn't turn his nose up to it, I mean, they must have done something right, you know?
Stop with that narrative. He low-keyed it right there, T-Foss. You see that?
I heard it.
See, that's you.
Proud
I
of
blame
him.
you for that.
Proud of him.
Yeah.
Tear to the eye right here.
No, I just call it like I see it.
pushed that narrative.
up.
No, you push the narrative.
No, you
By
pushed
being that way.
narrative.
Dude, no, you started it with
being
your little
that way.
Pookie thing. He's just on your Pookie train right
No,
there.
Terry,
talking
how am
about
I
Pookie.
being, Terry? How am I being?
Being a little arrogant right now, but, you know, for the most part, you're still a cute kid, though.
He ain't
Thank
being
you.
arrogant. I mean, don't go voting for him or nothing like that. Or, you know, he's not.
Right.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're not. What do you? I'm not wanting votes or this ain't
Yeah.
about that. Just,
No, I'm not
for
up
me
here
to say
pandering
thank
for
you.
votes.
We're,
Yeah.
all three of us to say thank you.
I mean, you could do a straight Woodward ticket in the Hour Detroit Best of Detroit
Dude, I think that's
2022
plus
voting.
1,000.
Yeah.
And
Let
Neil
me,
was like, you don't have to vote for me, but if you're not busy, vote for me. That was Neil.
I'm not up here pandering for votes, and I
That's
would
what it is,
never.
pandering.
I would never put a link up on the spot to vote.
Right.
Updating the YouTube chat thread.
But here's the link.
Which would you rather go to? The NHL All-Star Game got 78% of the vote. Pro Bowl 22% of the vote. So Pro Bowl made a little bit of a comeback. I would choose the Pro Bowl only because there's like 5 different NHL All-Star games within the. Just play a game. Just play a game the way you used to just play the game.
I would do the Pro Bowl when it was in Hawaii, because you're in Hawaii.
Vegas is cool.
Ding dong, Terry.
nice.
Ding dong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll close that poll out, and I would never put a link out to vote a Woodward ticket for the Hour Detroit Magazine Best of Detroit polls. But Sawyer
But
might.
it just appears though.
Sawyer might. Do you see? I don't have
If
any
he likes
access
his
to
job.
that.
Sawyer might if he likes his job.
Yeah, no, I don't have any access to that. I can't do that. And why would I not? Why would I want people to vote for you, Terry? You're up for awards on there too.
I'm just a guy
That's happy to be
Just a
here.
man of the
Oh
people.
yeah,
Be
see,
here.
he plays that.
Man for the
he
people.
plays that.
That's it.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm just a man of the people.
It's true.
I'm Terry. I'm about Detroit.
I'm nobody without the people.
I was in a 30 for 30.
Amen to that,
I
bro.
was in 30 for 30.
Preach
Yeah,
that.
I'm proud of that.
Oh,
Preach
go to the
that.
Sun Bowl.
You and me both.
They're not escorts. They're not dates. They're escorts.
No, they were hostess.
They weren't escorts.
They're
they
hostesses.
were hostesses.
Yeah,
Right.
They're not escorts. They're hostesses.
They're cupcakes.
I messed up.
I messed up with my verbiage.
I misidentified
See, Terry, I
it.
do that sometimes. The words just don't come out properly.
You know, we just get excited in a job like this, and the words come out wrong.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
We're talking about the whole Josh Gattis, Harbaugh, no defensive coordinator triangle at Michigan right now, and I'm trying to figure out, level of concern, I guess. Terry, is there a level of concern with Michigan football right now? Because the fans don't seem to be concerned.
Of course not, because if you don't want to be at Michigan, you suck. You're not a Michigan man. You suck. So they're not going to be concerned until that offense stalls, in the fall, and their boy JJ isn't the second coming. That's when they're going to say, okay, what happened here? So, when you study the history of Michigan football, their coaches are the best in the nation until they leave. Then they become pedestrian. So that's the way this narrative is going to play out in Ann Arbor until the fall, when they see this man was a very good coach.
Naki on our YouTube chat thread. I would equate Gattis' situation at Michigan just like the Anthony Lynn situation with the Lions. They both lost full control of the OC job. Now, I was told Michigan had like their greatest offensive year of all. Even Sam Flannel's got the side eye on that one.
Well, let's go. But like, Sam, where are you at? Because as we know, the person with the most integrity, the best dressed here, the mind of the people, Sam Flannel. How do you feel as a Michigan fan?
I'm a little bit worried because when you have a great year and you lose both your offensive and defensive coordinator, and even though I don't mind Harbaugh kind of flirting with the NFL, he still did anyway, that's going to cause I mean, how can you not be worried? I don't know who they're going to get to replace Gattis and McDonald. So, yeah, I'm very worried because I think this could be a really good team, and I hope that they can find good coaches.
Have we heard any names, or is there people out there that are speculating? Obviously, we heard Mike Hart. So you got did you do a little research or something? Did you delve deep to see some of the names? To me, it goes back to more so of what Michigan's not doing. To Terry's point about Stone Age, about staying there as the brand, and we're Michigan and we're not moving forward. Because to me, it looks like Miami's like, no, we're moving forward. We're doing what we need to do. And then whether or not, I saw it in the tweet thread that Josh Gattis thought that 3 years and he'd be the head coach, or he wanted that opportunity, irrelevant. What it says is that he doesn't see the path that he saw before or the commitment and go somewhere else. So to me, it's more of a glaring detriment towards Michigan than anything else. And like, who are the names to replace? Because
it sounds like it's just internal people, like the so Mike Harts. They're going to do it in a kind of a Michigan, way? Internal Michigan fashion.
Get that Michigan man.
From what it sounds like, because those are all the names. Even for the defensive coordinator spot, I know everybody's really excited. They want to see Larry Foote, who is in the NFL. He's an assistant defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, or something like that in the National Football. I think with Tampa.
Okay, so they're gonna go to the brand, but guys that have some sort of experience to bring back. I think that's important because the culture is the communication. Like, the biggest difference I saw was the fact that this team was all in for the coach, right? And the buffer is, and I'm just speaking from experience because our championship teams, like I said, Scotty Bowman, and Terry could attest to it, man. We called him Rain Man, not to his face, of course, but like he's 5 moves ahead, like Kasparov, right? But he wouldn't communicate through you. He'd yell at Barry Smith right beside you to get the message across to you. Or if we had an issue, we go to Dave Lewis and could have a conversation to sort of get your message across. So different coaches coach differently, and it's important. Your assistant coaches, I don't think people see that culturally in the program, that's as important to keeping the flow. So to me, if he continues to do that with experienced guys that have been Michigan guys, and go out like a Larry Foote, then maybe the process still works. It gets me thinking to Terry saying, are they still in their old adage of this is the way that it is when everything around them is moving forward?
Yeah, and the fact that you got to hire a Michigan man. That is Stone Age thinking.
Yes.
So it's got to be one of us or it doesn't work. And that's what they did with Harbaugh. That's what they've done with a bunch of people. So you've got to think outside the box in this new era of football.
And yeah, that's what it's going to boil down to, Terry. On our YouTube chat thread, Mike Burnham, Harbaugh did his job, beat Ohio State. Now it's time to build the future of Michigan football. Cody Engel says, Michigan fans literally 3 days ago, quote, Jim's got every right to look at other opportunities. Today, quote, WTF, Gattis, you got no loyalty, and it's a mistake to leave. He said, I'm not concerned with this team, however, I'm concerned with administration.
Well, here's the thing. Harbaugh wanted to leave. He wanted out. So don't give me this, he came back, and what a good old boy. This is my guy here. He wanted to leave. Nobody wanted him. The Minnesota Vikings, here's my understanding. I did a little reporting. I got someone that works in the Minnesota Vikings front office.
Here we go. This is why we got T-flips around here. Let me crack my knuckles.
About time. Give me some juice,
The general manager who worked with Harbaugh in San Francisco,
yep.
He wanted to hire him. Everybody else said no. It was like an 8-1 vote. No, we don't want this guy in here. Because what the general manager wanted, he wanted He believes that the Vikings are a little bit soft, that they need that edge, and he thought that Harbaugh could provide that. Ownership was like, no, we want a smooth running ship. We don't think Jim Harbaugh can provide that because he's a prickly guy. We don't want to deal with that. So the answer is no. That's what I was told.
So it got trumped by the room.
Yes.
There was a decision maker that was very much on board.
Right.
But when it went to the room,
and the room was trumping him even before Harbaugh interviewed. They were saying, no, we're not doing this. But he brought him in for an interview anyway. And I think Harbaugh had talked to him and thought he was going to get the job, not knowing that the rest of the room is like, we ain't
Board
going
of directors vetoed the chairman.
I know,
pretty much.
Like, if you have any inkling that could happen, then you can't go to that interview on signing day, right? I mean, because look, all right, I'll even back it up. Terry.
Right.
And this, maybe you talked to people about this, maybe you didn't. But my main question to you is this the fallout from all of it? Is this coordinator situation the fallout?
I believe at least partially is. Not sure to what extent, but yeah, it's got to be partially. Because Harbaugh thought he was out. That's why you do an interview on signing day. Because I don't have to deal with these athletes anymore. I don't have to deal with recruits anymore because I'm in the NFL. I'm gone. But it takes two to tango.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? The most, disturbing part is the fact that you hear the reports of him saying goodbye. Him, like, pretty much saying sayonara. I get it, taking the interview, right? And all that stuff, no matter what, but it's sort of, yeah, I think he was counting his eggs before they hatched. And obviously, maybe, I guess if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, maybe that's a good sign that you have some people thinking in your front office.
Well, part of it could be, you know what? I'm so good. Who's going to say no to me?
The Neil Rule effect.
I got my
the
boy
Neil
in here.
Rule effect. I like it. The golden rule.
I got my boy here who wants me, so he'll convince the rest of the room I'm great. I'm out of here. I think that's what happened.
But which goes to show, T, to everything we're talking about getting up to speed with 2022 and the way things are done, not only in college but in the NFL, right? That the way that things are done is a little bit different. It's not, that's old boy mentality where you got the head who's making the decisions will let everybody else know that.
Charles says Michigan was only signing one on signing day and that player signed. No, I know that, Charles, but I'm saying, number one, the optics of it.
It's a bad optic.
And number two, what does that do to the future? Because what are you saying? If you're Nick Saban or if you're Ryan Day and you're in that Five Stars living room who just talked to Harbaugh the day before, what are you saying, T?
He gone. He's not. Yeah. He's not there for long.
Foot in, foot out. Next year, every year.
Yeah, I got a contract for life here for Alabama. If I even think about leaving, the boosters are going to give me an extra $1 million or buy me another house. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. But that guy there, he's looking at the NFL. Despite, Harbaugh said, oh, this is the last time that you're going to have to go through this, Michigan. Does anybody believe that?
No, absolutely. Every year. Every year they're going to go through. The only thing that I am absolutely 100 million% sure on is Guardian Alarm. Oh, we know they get it, so everybody in this state, in this country, should get it also, whether for home or business. Yes, a good defense helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. So you can do the temperatures, unlock the doors, the lights, everything like that, even the smoke detector or that deadly silent killer carbon monoxide right from your phone. So if you want to be part of the Guardian Alarm family, you can call 1-800.
Stay out!
That's 1-800.
Stay out!
Listen, that's the best deal you're going to make. And even so, Sam Flannel, he is so adamant about it. Let him tell you, it's 1-800.
Stay out! Get out of my house!
Didn't you hear me the first time? Stay out!
Stay out of the house. Leave the flannels alone. Don't mess with TFOS. You too, 1-800. Stay out. Let them know. Woodward Sports sent you Guardian Alarm, your local security experts, Big D Energy, Neil Rule, TFOS, DMAC. Be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brett Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Here at Woodward Sports, we're always up for a good cause and a good time. This year, we present the 2022 Cubazani Run. Yeah, you heard right. Time to get in our underwear and run the streets of Detroit. For the last 12 years, we've stripped down, ran in the cold, and partied to raise money to help fund research to end NF. February 12th, join the staff from Woodward Sports and hundreds of other beautiful people downtown at the Tin Roof. You can register as an individual or your team today at woodwardsports.com. So start doing those squats, sit-ups, or just some 12-ounce curls. And get ready for Cupid's Undie Run 2022. Sponsored by the awesome people at Gypsy Vodka, Cintron, and Planet Fitness. We'll see you February 12th at the Tin Roof. In our underwear. Thank you to Chili Peppers Tanning.
Pulling up towards the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Uncle T, Terry Foster in the house. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll lay down the YouTube poll. It's Choose Your Own Adventure time, story time with Terry Foster coming up towards the end of the show. You guys will get to choose which story you want to hear from Uncle T. Big hello to everybody listening to 93.5, the Roar, Michigan's all new, all sports, alternative, 94.7 HD2 and 99.1 FM, all on 93.5. The Roar. But, we were talking Jim Harbaugh, Lions Rumble 81. Hey, Jim Harbaugh, the NFL said hashtag stay out. So there's that one, too. Which I guess they did, right?
They did.
Yep, there was. So, just kind of wrapping up that discussion, there was something that I did want to get to as well. And I said earlier, I have another road trip to go on for work this week, so I'll be on Monday and Tuesday. So I did want to get to this while I was here. And we have D-Mac, and we have Terry also. The Lions, the comparisons with the Bengals and all that stuff. And I think that structurally there are a lot of things that we can talk about. But I want to bring up a good story that I encountered at the airport on Tuesday. I was flying down to Cincinnati for Oakland to play Northern Kentucky. They're just across the river from Cincinnati. And so we all had to connect through Chicago. And I'm sitting there, and I'm at the bar in Chicago having a drink, waiting for our plane to leave to go to Cincinnati. And there's, as you would guess, a lot of Bengals fans. They got their stuff on. Their team's in the Super Bowl. It's a weird feeling, I'm sure. But nonetheless, I was really blown away when I was talking to this guy. And he's a longtime season ticket holder, obviously a big-time Bengals fan his whole life. And he brought up the fact that, because I said the Bengals are pretty much the example of what I want the Lions to be, what I think the Lions are going towards. Homegrown, built through the draft, converting on tons of draft picks. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, their kicker next year for a combined $19 million all together. That's a hell of a start right there. 8 picks in the draft. Is the offensive line weak? Yeah, they can fix it through this year's draft. And he didn't seem very excited. And it was really weird to me. And I asked him, I said, if I were you, man, if the Bengals were the Lions, this town would be beside themselves right now. It would be so hyped up and everything. And he said, man, you got to understand, we hate our ownership so much that we think when the time comes to put this all together and build this thing into a dynasty, that Mike Brown, our owner, the Brown family that has owned it for a long time, they're not going to do it. They're not going to spend the money. When Jamar Chase's contract comes up, they're not going to do it. They're not going to give him, that $130 million contract. That we hate this ownership group so much that while it's fun and everything, it's hard to get excited long term. And that, Terry, that hit me like a punch in the stomach, man. just to hear that guy talk about the ownership that way.
I hear you, because that's what we get here in Detroit, because the Lions haven't done anything. But I will say this. See, he's upset because he doesn't think they're going to take the next step. And I'll tell you what, the Lions sniff the Super Bowl, and then it comes down to try to sign guys long-term to create a dynasty here. I'm sure a lot of people in Detroit would say, you know what, they're not going to spend the money, because that is that's the black mark on the Fords. One, they don't know how to win. B, they don't know how to run an organization. And C, they don't want to spend money. That's the perception of the Ford family. But with all that said, if the Lions make the Super Bowl like the Bengals have, I believe this fan base would forgive the Fords. If you say something bad about the Fords, then they'll come after you. Because even now, even though it's fashionable to say something about the Fords, that they're not good ownership, but if you say anything about that team, there's a bunch of people in this town come after you. Those are my Lions. That's my team. I believe in my team. And I think if this team ever makes it to the Super Bowl, that this fan base will forgive the Fords for 6 decades of incompetency.
Let's do that, Sawyer.
Because half of them, think about what you're saying. Because think about how long. So the duress of what, if they get there, let's say they get there in what, 5 years, right? 2027. So if they get there in 5 years, I'll be 55, right? Like it's sort of the numbness and sort of what we've been put under. I think you're right, Terry. It goes back to our conversation, Neil, about organizations, and I look at back, why did the Red Wings organization, were we able to get over the top and win? Because of the commitment from the ownership and the team, the money and the compassion, the money, the fan, the feeling are all together.
And European, you tell me, D-Mac, and Sawyer's going to put that on the YouTube poll right now on our YouTube chat thread. If the Lions went to the Super Bowl, would you forgive? Is that fair, Terry? Would you forgive the Fords? I'm curious to see what people would be like.
I personally will vote no.
What?
I'm voting no.
He
I
personally
think
vote
most
no.
people will say yes.
Yeah. So, D-Mac, let me ask you this, though. And you tell me. I contend the day things changed for the Red Wings was the day that they were first into Europe. The day that they brought the Russian players over.
The day that they were able to draft the Sergei Fedorovs and the Vladimir Konstantinovs and send Keith Gabe over and let them know and sort of get the Russian 5 documentary. That's sort of where it started.
Yeah,
but they were
European
ahead.
Scouting.
What have the Red Wings been? They've always been ahead, whether it's Sweden, Russia.
And that was an investment, right? That was something where they valued it and spent more than other teams
when Jimmy
did.
D's standing there with the bag, the real bag with the money in it back in the day, because it's late 80s, sort of like that's the real. Yes, that's an investment. That to me, when somebody's handing you the bag, no matter what it is, that's sort of the investment gone good. But yeah, so here's the whole thing, Neil, is that what we're hoping for as we build, Terry, and I think this is it, is the people in charge. Is we see more of the football people, as we say, making the decisions and the salary cap, because you brought this up, the thing with the Bengals is the team and the management and stuff are putting this team in position because of the contracts, because of the drafting. So they don't have to do this yet. So there's opportunity. I believe that things are different here in Detroit because we saw all the draft picks play last year. So I think that the mentality of the ownership, because we're not dealing. Here's the thing. The Bengals are dealing with the Brown, right? And I know we're dealing with the same family, but you got Sheila, and things have changed. We can agree that things have sort of changed in the last few years, and things are different, so I hope not. But it's interesting to see that, and at the end of the day, that goes to be successful, you have to have the ownership, the dollar, and the general manager and the team all on the same page, making the right decisions, the right investments, and whether it's early investments. So the Russians, the Swedes, like this was the Bitcoin, the NFTs before they were popular, the metaverse. The Red Wings were on it first.
Yeah, and that was the day it changed because they chose to invest in an area and dominated once they did, they performed.
Well, then you got Hawk and Anderson just picking guys out of the late rounds, and before it was even cool, so everybody else. But if you watch the Red Wings, that's their thing. Now they dip into Germany. Everybody else dips into Germany. So the bottom line is what makes, if we're talking the Red Wings, is because the guys put the work in. They have the credentials, but nobody outworks them. So if you see, because management, right, has allowed, Steve Yzerman's pretty much has the reins, right? So that means ownership, but that's look at how long that relationship, even though it's happened, has been built.
T-Foss, what about this one on the YouTube chat thread? TevSauce2 says, yes, I would, because Sheila is early into her reign, and I'm not going to hold her stupid parents against her. You agree with that?
I think she is different than the parents. The parents, and I've talked to all of them, the parents they didn't care about public opinion. If you wanted Matthew Stafford gone, they would do the exact opposite and keep him. When you wanted Matt Millen gone, what did the old man do? He extended him. And here's the thing about the Lions that annoys me, and Sheila Hamp broke the mold. The Detroit Lions are the poster child for the good old boy network. And at least when she got Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, she actually did a national search. She started from scratch. She got her advisors and said, okay, we're tearing this down. We're starting all over. Let's find out who we think is going to be the best person to run this organization and the best person to coach this. They may not have gotten it right. We don't know. But at least they did what normal organizations do. The old man, the first general manager, was his drinking buddy, Russ Thomas. Then the next general manager was the boy of Russ Thomas. They were buddies. Third, why did they hire Matt Millen?
Whose boy was he?
Because we had good conversations with him when he came in to meet with us before games. We liked Matt because that was their boy, or William Clay Ford Jr.'s boy. So 3 general managers, they hired 3 guys because they like them. Not to win games, not to win championships, but we like them. These good guys. That's not the reason you hire somebody. Not for this.
No, that's the reason you have a drinking buddy.
Right.
Well, and you know what? If you're with your drinking buddy, Gypsy Vodka is going to be the play because it took exploring 50 different formulas, hosting countless taste tests to create the smoothest, best-tasting vodka on the market. Gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times. I use artesian spring water. That's all technical stuff. The bottom line is this, folks. You crack open that cool-looking bottle. You pour some in a glass with some ice. Put some club soda in there, tonic, whatever your flavor is. I'm club soda myself. Squeeze a couple limes in there. Boom. Now the Saturday night's rolling. Now you're getting right. Now the good times have begun. Now we're going to go meet T-Foss and get out on the town. And it all starts with Gypsy Vodka, made right here in the state of Michigan, out of Petoskey to be exact. Support local guys from the state of Michigan. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, second hour of the show. Neil Rule, Terry Foster, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house, Sam Flannel, Sawyer, squad deep up in here. Because Sawyer wants to, we're going to talk NASCAR coming up in just a little bit. Let's humor the man. He likes it. I watched it for Sawyer. Sawyer, I watched that for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Flag to flag. I even endured the nonsensical 31-minute pregame introducing every single driver.
Oh, wait, but did you see
That's
who
the
was
best
doing
part.
that, though?
No, it wasn't.
The man himself.
Yeah, Gus Johnson introduced him.
Was he there or was it recorded? I got a feeling it was recorded.
I have no idea. All I got to say is that walk down the stairs looks so awkward for half those guys. It looks so weird.
See, and that's what bothered me. It was awkward. But Ice Cube played at halftime, I guess you could say. So it was pretty cool. But
Did anybody there know who Ice Cube was?
No.
Okay.
No, they did not, Terry.
Like, who's this color fella out here?
He was pretty sweet though. Rolled up in the Impala, pulled up the Impala right to the back door and got out of the car and walked up on the stage. So that was pretty cool to see. But I do want to talk about this whole Bengals Lions thing. And yes, Dave Birkett wrote a story about it. I read it in Sunday's newspaper, and the gist of his story was they're along the same trajectory, but obviously missing that big centerpiece, which is Joe Burrow, the quarterback on the rookie contract. But throughout all of that, and yes, Burrow is a very important piece of this. And I'm telling you guys, and people were making fun of me and laughing at me, I'm always going to do this, D-Mac. You guys wrap your heads around the fact that the Detroit Lions more than likely will be taking a quarterback with one of those first 3 picks that they have. Everybody get ready for it because of the discount to market. And I'm about to break that down a little bit for you right now. The Bengals are a very homegrown team. Look at pretty much everybody that's a big component. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, even their kicker, Evan McPherson, Joe Mixon, all draft picks. All Cincinnati draft picks that are performing at elite levels. Next year, the Bengals have Jamar Chase, they have T. Higgins, they have Joe Burrow, and I do include their kicker. And I got laughed at when I did this on social media, but Evan McPherson appears to be that dude.
Well, he is the proof that he's proving that you might want to look at drafting a kicker higher if he's got the pedigree. Because, the way this kid kicks in the clutch is top notch. So you have to put him in there because what he's done is he's done the one thing that we always did right here in Detroit. Our kicking game's always been great.
But they're paying him $820,000.
That's what I'm saying.
Instead of
that's why.
We had this argument with the listeners and the viewers when the season started. They're like, remember when the Lions were going through those struggles? They're like, why didn't they sign Prater? I'm like, because it was over $3 million. That's why. Well, why not? Just do it.
See, to your point about getting them locked in at a low rate.
Yeah.
Right. All these guys. And
so
you have
4
to
guys,
put them in there, right?
4 guys, $20 million next year on their cap hits. Those 4 guys, Terry, those are 2 Pro Bowlers, probably 3 Pro Bowlers, and a borderline
we
Pro
hear
Bowler.
you, but the Lions are not picking a quarterback this year with one of their top 3 picks.
Okay.
Next year they might. Now, Joe Burrow is special. Are you going to pick at 32 or 33 and get a special quarterback? Yes, you can get one cheap. Yes, you can get one on a rookie contract for a while, but you can also do that next year. Jared Goff is going to be the quarterback this year. And who cares if his understudy is learning under him this year or the following year? The guy's not going to be ready. And I believe that you're probably going to get better bang for your buck next year when Ohio State's quarterback comes out.
But, Terry, they're not going to be bad enough to draft. Everyone keeps saying that.
We don't know that.
They're not going to be bad enough to draft.
Still. They might be.
Not with that offense. Jonah Jackson was in the Pro Bowl, man. Jonah Jackson.
Okay, how many games they win?
Yeah, 3 games.
Okay, 3 games. They're going to be bad next year, too. So, yeah, they may not get the number 1 pick and number 2, but if
these guys,
5 or 6.
Tifa, and everybody's here in the YouTube chat thread talking about it too, if these guys are as good as you guys think they are, you're not going to have access to them.
Yeah, but I think the point is that what we're saying is there's nobody here that's worth the value to settle on if he's not the answer or the buffer that you're going to replace, right? You're better off taking a shot and seeing where you end up and moving forward than putting somebody on your roster like a Sam Darnold or a Josh Rosen or somebody
we're not the evaluators, though.
But brother, what if you draft someone this year at 32 and you end up with Ty Detmer? Are you ahead?
Then you end up with Ty Detmer.
He sucks.
Right. And you're paying him $12 million bucks, and they'll go away.
You can wait another year and get somebody better.
Here's the
but you can't, Terry. You
Neil,
can't.
At the end of the day, though,
Yes,
in
you
Holmes,
can.
In Holmes, do you trust whether he does or he
but
doesn't?
that's where we
it
both
goes
come
to.
back. Like we're on the highway together, and we both get off at a different exit, but then we come back down the road together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, absolutely. So here's the thing, because I'll sit here if he does or he doesn't draft one. If you're right or you're wrong, I trust that he's got the big plan. Right? There or something else. Just because why? Because what I've seen so far. Now, he can ruin all his goodwill. All his brownie points, gentlemen. They can go like that. You know what that's all about, T-Foss. I know you do. Get the rate in the doghouse just like that. It can take so long to gain them. And that's what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they've earned their brownie points now. But they can lose them like that, Neil. One bad draft pick, one bad, doing the quarterback. If he's not the guy, they don't have the plan, if that's the way they go. So to me, it's in Holmes they trust. I'm not going to stress about it. I shot the exit, but I came back around and we met up and we got the Tim Hortons. So
we did, yeah. I got the large iced coffee. We're gonna have to stop at the rest stop about 6 times before we get all the way up north.
We're all good.
Yeah. Stephen Baffey, Lions have a soft schedule next year, and that is the case too. You put this offensive line back together, and you would assume. And again, you can't handicap turnovers. You can't handicap injuries. You can't. You just can't anticipate when they're going to happen. On paper, all things being equal, Terry, if that offensive line is together next year and they stay healthy with that schedule, you are not going to be anywhere near that mix to have a shot at one of these quarterbacks.
First of all, it is the Lions talk about a soft schedule. When opponents look at the Lions, they think soft too. So don't assume. People just give them the benefit of the doubt. Just because it's a soft schedule, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be good. They're going to be bad again next year. Not 3-13-1 bad, but maybe 7-10 bad. You still might be able to get a quarterback who's better than you can get this year, 31-32.
Alex Haggerty says we'll still have 3 picks in the top 60 next year to trade up and get any major QB you want. That ain't enough. If these quarterbacks are what you say they are. So right now, we'll draw it in stone then, right? These are franchise-altering quarterbacks. That's the perception, right?
That is the perception.
Okay.
Are there any this year?
3 in the top 60 ain't getting that done.
Okay, do you have a game-changing quarterback this year?
I don't know. I'm not the talent evaluator.
Okay. You may have that Malik Willis, maybe. The Lions seem to like this guy. But beyond that, you'd really have to evaluate him and look him over and everything, and there may not be that guy there. So don't reach for it at 31 and 32. If you're lucky, if you evaluate and somebody's there, you really like him, shake him. But my guess is there's not going to be that guy that the Lions are going, oh, we got to get him this year. I think they'll wait a year and just say, let's get the right guy rather than just get a guy.
Cody Engel says you can trade Goff and picks next year.
Yeah, nobody's going to walk off.
Thank you. I didn't want to have to say it like that, T-Foss, but that was it. Juices Ghost, use your 2 firsts this year to get the defensive playmakers because next year both first rounds are going to be traded for a quarterback. It's still going to take more than that, number one. If these guys are what everybody says they are, you are mortgaging everything for them.
Okay, but you just said the correct word or the key word. Neil, you don't even know what it was.
If.
Guys. As in plural. This year there might be one dude. Mm-hmm. But plural, if you have plural quarterbacks, you can't take all 3 or 4 quarterbacks with the 5th pick. It's that one of them's going to be gone, but the other 3 or 4 will still be there for you if you're picking in the top 10. In the last draft was the 2018 draft everybody was crazy about. You got quality quarterbacks in the 20s, in the 15s. Usually that doesn't happen, but maybe next year is the year that it will happen.
Rich Diana wants to know, do you think Sheila would pay Coach Dan Campbell to lose games for a better draft pick?
I can't answer that question.
I would have. If I were the owner, I would have.
Then you need to get kicked out of the league then.
That's why you're not coaching in the league.
That's right. Or a general manager or everything like that. Well, again, I know people struggle with this concept, but it is an undefeated mathematical point. You are penalized for winning the second you can't make the playoffs.
No,
Terry.
that is true. Now, Neil, Mr. Tanker over there, would you have been upset if you heard that Sheila Ford Hamp had paid Dan Campbell to lose games?
Would I be upset?
Yes. Or would you be like, how about outraged? Because I know how you are. You get outraged and indignant.
would I be indignant?
Would you have been that way? Would you say, no, this isn't going to happen in my sports city?
This will not stand, Terry Foster.
I'm Neil Rule, and I don't allow for cheating. Now, would you have been that upset?
Would I be that upset? It depends. Coming down the stretch of this season, no, I wouldn't have been upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, indignant, feeling or showing anger or annoyance at what is perceived as unfair treatment. That is Neil Rule.
It is.
Indignant. I think my initial reaction would be, ooh, saucy, like getting your hands dirty or whatever like this. To where we're at and what we've suffered. No, I would be almost like
you see that little horse on his chest there.
Ooh.
You should put it underneath indignant.
Oh, dude, we got to get him a Neil Rule. There it is.
We got to
Just
get him a little
indignant.
special shirt.
I like it.
Indignant. I am indignant.
No.
And this shall not stand.
Here's what you do. You get him a big sweatshirt that says, "I never." You know how the people get a little. I've never been so insulted. That's Neil.
Absolutely. You know what would be insulting, though, is if you didn't go to mybookie.ag to get in on the Super Bowl action. It'd be insulting. Really, I mean, if you think about it, the promos that they got going on right now leading up to the Super Bowl week, they'll double your first deposit instantly. With the promo code Woodward, you can get in all the action on Super Bowl 56. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000, guys. All you got to do, hit the promo code Woodward. They got all the props, all that stuff. You got a feeling on what color Gatorade's going to get dumped on the coach? MyBookie.ag. That's the way you do it. You want to do some cross-sport props as well, maybe tie in some NBA action to what's going on? You can do that too. MyBookie.ag. All of it. Think the national anthem's going to go long? The over-under on the national anthem. You can do it. Which commercial is going to get played first? You can do it. MyBookie.ag. All of it. And the best part about it is they can double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. Smooth interface, easy to read, all that stuff. Most importantly, quick. Something pops in your head, you want to get down on it, live betting, all that stuff, mybookie.ag. That's it, guys. That's all you need to know. Use the promo code Woodward. They'll double your first deposit up to $1,000. Have a gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Hey, going to tell you guys about the Ashawn Bowl party we're having for Woodward Sports. I know there's been an outpouring of excitement that Ashawn Robinson is finally playing in the big game, and we will be down there as well at the Brass Rail Detroit. Maybe I'll get one of those half Rams, half Lions, Ashawn Robinson jerseys. I'll be down there. I'll be checking it out with everybody, too. I know Sawyer's talking about making his way down there. We'll have a couple of beverages, and that's good because Gypsy Vodka, Cintron, Woodward Sports, and Planet Fitness all bringing you the Ashawn Bowl watch party. We'll have a live broadcast from 4:30 to 6:30, and then we'll be watching the game after live at the Brass Rail Detroit. It's about time Ashawn Robinson got in the big game, and all of us Lions fans can get together, and we'll run these highlights here of Ashawn Robinson picking off Drew Brees, and we'll think back to the good old days and celebrate and see if the big man, Ashawn Robinson, can get it done. It's our big game watch party. for Woodward Sports at the Brass Rail Detroit. Second hour of the show rolling along here. We got myself, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, T-Foss, Sam Flannel, and Sawyer as well. Sam Flannel, man. I did want to take a couple minutes about it. T, we got you here right now, and this is early. And I know that I'm guilty of this. I'm sure a lot of other people are guilty of this. And I'm curious, T, you're a seasoned media guy. You've seen it all. Covered Super Bowls. You've seen it all.
Covered a couple events.
Yes.
Escorts, hostesses, everywhere.
However you want to term it, he's done it before, okay? And I want to see if you're like me sometimes, where on the surface, I think the Rams win this game. I think the Rams, I think Joe Burrow makes a mistake or two, and they won't get away with it this time. And ultimately, that they'll pay the price for it. But you know how this works, T. When it's announced last Sunday, you have your convictions about the game, and then that week goes by where you don't talk about it a lot. But then now this week is the media hype build-up week, and the radio rows, and everybody's live at the Super Bowl, and every single show and talk show, and Jimmy Kimmel, and everybody is out there in L.A., and it'll be extra. It'll be a whole lot extra this year because it is in L.A.
Right.
T, do you ever catch yourself, you have your convictions when it all gets announced, but then you kind of find yourself getting talked into the underdog a little bit? That's the nature of the Super Bowl week, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely. And you change your mind 4 or 5 times during the week. A thing that happens with us media members is we're around athletes. And when you're around athletes too much, they'll convince you there's no way they're going to lose. They'll convince you that they're ready. They'll convince you that they're focused. They'll convince you that this is not in the bag, but they got a really good shot. So I'm sure the people who follow Cincinnati by now, they've heard enough of, you know what, we're good, we know it. They've overlooked us all season. And so, yeah, you're going to get a bunch of people who believe Cincinnati can
To
win
that
this.
point, Terry, is football like the Super Bowl or a college bowl game or the one game the toughest, even if you're around, like if you're down there for Super Bowl week, like you said, convince, whereas opposed to covering basketball or covering hockey when it's a playoff series where you can feel like, is it different because everybody going into the Super Bowl is like, yeah, we're going to win, they're going to convince you, whereas you feel the vibe of a series because of momentum, or listen to a guy in a basketball or a hockey locker room going, no, we got this and whatever, and you're in the back of your mind going, these guys are defeated.
Right. I think it's easier to convince people in basketball and hockey because you're around them more often. During the Super Bowl week, you're not really around athletes. You see them at the podium and you kind of yell questions and listen to them and move on. Some guys don't even go to all that stuff because what happens is they just give you, I swear it's like 400 or 500 pages of quote sheets. So you can stay in your hotel room, pick up quote sheets, and cover the Super Bowl that way. So they're not as easily as influenced as it is with the NBA Finals or the Stanley Cup. If you don't go to the media sessions in hockey and basketball, guess what? You're out of luck. Super Bowl, yeah, I can get out of my bed, go down to the little media. We call it the hostility room. You go down to the hostility room, pick up your sheets, spread them across the bed, get your computer out, and cover the Super Bowl.
Does anybody else feel that this game is the Aaron Donald, Von Miller, with the way that Joe Burrow, you mentioned Joe Burrow's going to make a mistake. My question is Joe Burrow survive the whole game? Because to me, the way that he's been on his back and the inefficiencies of the offensive line to protect him, like we mentioned, Sean Robinson, right, our boy, but Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and the way that the defense is playing, do you not expect, like I was listening, and really, usually the Super Bowl MVP will go to one of the quarterbacks or, offensive players, but this is really legit where I'm thinking is about Aaron Donald, and especially after what had happened. Remember how you got to build on it. I said about Stafford winning his first game. Well, Aaron Donald and the Rams coming back and being able to win that game when it was noted at the time, the camera on the sideline, that this quiet leader is bringing everybody and being vocal and then getting it done. These are destiny moments to me. So to me, I just think that he's going to be, if they don't game plan, double, triple team him with as bad as they're playing, I don't know if Joe Burrow has enough to survive. You know, like, do you guys think about it that way?
The chances of what you're saying has a better shot of happening than Joe Burrow or Stafford winning the Super Bowl. The problem is, are we smart enough to see that this game is being won by the defensive line? Or are we just mesmerized by the plays that the quarterback makes and say, okay, yeah, that's the reason they won. That's why the quarterback is usually the MVP. But it's like Tampa and against Kansas City in the Super Bowl. We said Tom Brady won that Super Bowl. No, he didn't.
No, the defensive line.
That was the defensive line because Patrick Mahomes couldn't even think straight. They harassed this man
Fisher
so much.
Schwartz were gone, their whole left side. We said it going. I remember doing shows with you or whatever like this and saying he's going to be running for his life. You know, and it's different when he is initiated running from his life, but that's what it is. I see, Terry, like if you're breaking down, I see more of that in this game where the Rams defense is like the Bucs defense and Joe Burrow's going to be running for his life.
Darren, you have vision. Many of us are blind. We think we see, but we don't. So that's why, yes, the defensive line could decide this game, but you know what's going to happen? They're going to say, Stafford did it again.
Right. But, I mean, we thought this, though, too, going into that Chiefs game against the Bengals, where we thought Chris Jones was going to have a party. And, you know, Frank Clark and all those guys that the Chiefs have, too. And what did the Bengals offensive line do, Terry? Just enough.
Mm-hmm.
They did just enough. Were they great? No, they weren't great. Burrow had to, you know, make some chicken salad out of chicken crap a couple of times, but he did it. He broke a huge tackle. And those are plays that we forget about during the course of a game. But those are plays that win the football game. When Burrow, when they got their hands on him up high and he shook loose and was able to get the
he's
get the
doing
first
the Tom
down.
Brady step through drill, like in and out, and I think early on and it's brought up here, is how efficient Cincinnati can be, like they were in the second half of getting the ball out quick, and if they can put Mixon and Chase and that, like get the Rams on their heels a little bit, guessing. It's the same thing with the running game, right? Stuff like this. So I think, but it's also too, as you're looking to, well, I see it playing out this way. Now, to your point, that was more first half stuff than they made adjustments. So it'll be interesting. And to that point right now, I would have the Rams winning.
Yeah, and that's where I was. Like I said, initially I was all over the Rams and thought there's no way they're not going to win. But I feel like I'm falling into it. I'm curious if people do that too. And we're seeing there's a couple of people that are in the YouTube chat thread that are saying, hey, you know, everyone just keep disrespecting the Bengals. Okay, like there are some of those people out there.
Do you feel they're disrespected? Because I don't.
No, I don't. They're not disrespected. They are dismissed, though, Terry.
A tad, probably. But not.
But you know, this woe is me thing that we have to deal with sports. If I don't pick you to win a game, it's like, he disrespected me. He doesn't like me, or he thinks I'm
it's
trash.
Like unfollowing somebody.
Or maybe I'm thinking the other team is pretty damn good.
So it's unfollowing somebody, like that, and you gotta.
You can only pick one team to win. I don't think people are disrespecting the Cincinnati Bengals. They just didn't think they're going to be here. That's all. Not disrespect.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. But I think it's going to be. Do you think it's going to be a good game? Because there's a lot of prognosticators are like saying, it's going to be more boring. But I think that this is a good matchup.
I just think when it comes down to it, good game. I mean. But I think we've lost our definition of what a good game is. We think that there's going to be 30 points scored in the last 2 minutes and it's got to go to overtime. And, like that's anything short of that's not going to be a good game. You know what I'm saying? So I think good game is kind of a loose term. I think it will be, like I said, I think Burrow will make a mistake, possibly two. I mean, for real.
How do you say that without – so Stafford's not going to make any?
No, I think...
But his will be more glaring.
His will be more glaring.
He'll get away with his, like he did in the last game.
Well, yeah, and Stafford will probably get away with it. It's just, I think it's going to come in a big spot to where it either leads to a Rams defensive touchdown or a red zone intercept, something that swings a football game, that even the Bengals, and I think he'll do it more than once. And it won't be because, and here's where your point comes in, Terry. It's not because I don't think Joe Burrow is a good quarterback.
Right.
It's because Aaron Donald's good too. Jalen Ramsey drives a Mercedes too. You know what I mean? Like they have very good players. A'Shaun Robinson's going to get a scoop and score, Terry.
Well,
and Detroit will go nuts.
OMG. You'll be pumping up your shirt
my half
and half.
Yeah, my half A'Shaun Robinson, which was crazy when we did this Josh Gattis talk, Terry. I thought that people would be happy for Josh Gattis and they would hope Miami would win the national title.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's going to happen.
Isn't that how it works here? That's what I was told.
Exactly.
That's not how it works?
No, wink, wink. No, hell no, dude.
Okay, that's what I was told. I was told that's how it works. Your fitness is essential at Planet Fitness. That's how it works at Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership, they got a special going on right now. $0 down, $10 a month. That'll get you access to your home club whenever you want. Great value. Also available, the Black Card, $22.99 a month. That's how I roll because I'm bougie, Terry. I have to have the Black Card. You know that.
You got to work out across the nation.
Across the nation. Over 2,000 Planet Fitness locations worldwide. Unlimited guest privileges as well. The hydro massage, all the massage chairs, all that bit as well. That's all open to you with the Black Card.
And they got private rooms for you, too.
Well, you're the do they have escorts or is it hostesses?
No. There's no escorts. They just got the hydro table back there, which is pretty cool.
I got you, T-Foss. I got you. You can join in club or online, www.planetfitness.com. No matter where you go, there's a Planet Fitness close by. Matter of fact, we're in Midtown Detroit right now at Detroit Pistons Performance Center. One more time. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. Planet Fitness also hiring all positions. Want to work in the fitness industry? Go to planetfitness.com for more information. Planet Fitness, your fitness is essential.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Neil Rule for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized room, trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by at least $5. Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, California Tan, and Swedish Beauty Lotions. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest hands, your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more on the way. Big D Energy will be live from the Berkeley grand opening on Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 on Woodward Avenue between 11 and 12 Mile Road, just down the road here from downtown Birmingham. It's Chili Peppers Tanning. Coming down the stretch here already, which is incredible to me that just about 90 minutes in already. I never believed that. Yeah, I can't ever believe, man, how quick that it goes. I did come across this over the weekend, and this I think is right in the lane of our good friend that listens out in San Diego, Robert Colosia. Cristiano Ronaldo became the first person to hit 400 million followers on Instagram. When you boil that all down, Cristiano Ronaldo has more followers than the population of the United States, Australia, and Canada combined.
Canada.
I was looking over at you and said cannabis.
That's it.
So
Can-American.
Let me give that one another crack. He's got 400 million followers on Instagram. That's more than the population of the United States, Canada, and Australia combined. D-Mac, he is, whether you guys like it or not, He is the world's biggest superstar. And I don't see like you guys here. I mean, like you
What?
guys out there. He's the world's biggest superstar. Period. End of story.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And it only reaffirms that the sport of football, or soccer as we call it in this country, is the biggest sport in the world. They're facts. We deal with facts in this show. There's a fact. It's the same thing as where you see this sort of is part of the journey and look where everything's at. It sort of lets you know, just like we said, this the $70 billion by Microsoft, put it in perspective, can buy every NHL team twice over,
Right.
but can only buy 21 NFL teams, shows you where the power struggle is. To me, it just gives you some perspective of how big the world is. And if you don't watch the EPL on Saturday mornings, you're missing out.
Or when he was in La Liga.
Or La Liga,
Yeah.
or whatever it is now, and plus 400 million. That, you know, I thought you said, like when this first brought up, I was looking at like somebody gave him $400 million, and it's like that doesn't blow you away. If he was somebody gave him a contract 10 years, $400 million, you're like, oh wow. But
I would say he's still underpaid.
Right, but 400 million followers, so that's the whole thing, is where I think you understand more on a bigger level, right? Why these guys get paid so much, because it's their reach, right? Anything that he wears, anything that he watches. Now, I follow his wife on Instagram, right? Like it's because of the stories and stuff like this, but it shows you the reach and the sponsorship and everything else. So the money isn't just about, it makes more sense of why he would make as much money as he makes, because he's one of the richest superstars in the world, as he should be, with the reach of over the United States, Canada, and Australia population. That's boom.
What about that, Terry? Does that blow you away?
It blows me away. It shows that the rest of the world doesn't have football and baseball and hockey the way that we do. Those are our sports, at least in North America. Soccer, I don't get it from this standpoint of, if he's going to have all these followers, if I'm going to follow him, he better have something to say or something interesting on his Instagram. You can't just be Ronaldo.
Because Terry's above it.
No, I want to be entertained.
Sustenance.
Terry saying, you have to entertain me, minion, if you want my follow.
Entertain me. It's the WWE crowd. I need to be entertained.
Juice's Ghost says, same reason why D-Mac reads Playboy, the stories. The
Absolutely,
articles.
man. But that's
quality writers.
Hey,
That's right.
They also, Juice, they got these, it's called the Forum. That's strictly story-based. So you can go to the P House Forum.
And
Bob
they got dirty
Guccione
jokes
Jr.
in there, too.
What?
Playboy has dirty jokes, too.
The great dirty jokes, but the interviews are phenomenal. I mean, like
they do good interviews. Terry, they
interviews.
They do.
They have good writers, though, don't they? I mean, real talk.
No, they have good writers for real. It's sort of like the strip club.
The
strip
food
club has chefs.
Yes,
they have great
5-star
food.
chefs.
So you can go to the strip club and say, I'm here for the food. And you wouldn't be lying. Well, just a partial lie.
No, it's just both things can be true.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Neil's thing. That's right.
Both things can be true. No, I mean, it's one of those things that when you see it verbalized and you read it and you think about it, and yeah, he is. I think that tweet was perfect. Like, he's the world superstar. What do you got, Sawyer?
Yeah, and like another thing to kind of go with this that blew my mind too is he makes over like $40 million a year just off his Instagram and sponsored content.
Absolutely.
And it's like 1.5 million euro per post he does. Like, he's making more money than some pro athletes just off his social media. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Well, and that's why I contend, and D-Mac, we've had this discussion before, where the Ronaldos, the Messis, back in the day, the Gretzkys, the Connor McDavids, the LeBron James especially, they are underpaid, everybody. But in terms of their craft, at their sport and what they do, they are grossly underpaid versus the revenue that they generate.
You know, and here's the thing. You know what's a glaring sign to Sawyer's point or whatever, to put in perspective, right? Where we could say, also soccer player, everybody, Lionel Messi, he's second, closest, and he's 100 million behind almost. 306 million is his followers. You're talking in the M game, like big time. So this one guy's got almost 100 million more. That's Canada and Australia's population. He's got more. That's crazy to me. But to Sawyer's point, and that's where it's at right now. But I mean, and here's the one thing. In today's day and age, if you have a personality, then you can get out there and be the star and stuff. To Terry's point, like that just goes, why doesn't he post more if he's making $1.5 million? They'd have to put me on a lockdown.
But here's the question. Is Messi a superstar in the United States?
Yes.
Because it seems like we've got the United States versus everybody else.
I think
our
both
superstars
Ronaldo.
are LeBron James, Steph Curry, still Michael Jordan.
Sawyer, you're just out of college. Is Messi a superstar?
I mean, I'd say he's a superstar, but he's not as big as Ronaldo. Because people
No,
know.
but
Ronaldo. Is Ronaldo a superstar in America?
How about superstars you can't touch? Because they're not
don't
here.
answer that
so
question.
You know what I'm
we
saying?
know
There's
he's a
something to that.
superstar, but Sawyer, is he a superstar in your world?
In my world, I mean, when I think of soccer, I think of Ronaldo and Messi. So I'd say, yeah, in my world. But I don't seek out soccer and watch it. But I know of them. You know what I'm saying?
Even more impressive, Terry. Rack asks in our YouTube chat thread, oh, yeah, Terry goes to the strip club for the rack of lamb.
They're
yes. And the chicken breast. And don't forget the thighs.
Which, the darker white, the darker the white part of turkey.
Me?
The thighs.
I am the only one in my immediate family. The first thing I do is I get the chicken breast. I eat the white turkey first. Everybody else is going for that dark meat.
Says a lot about you, T-Foss.
Because
Love it.
I make the turkey and I don't dry it out.
Aha!
That's right.
Self-service. He's serving himself.
Steve Brown says, I think the NBA is way overpaid. And I would disagree. And this is where the NBA, I think, is doing such a good job that the NHL is not. And we're seeing the NHL try this to some degree. The NBA owns China. They do. Chinese.
Or does China own the NBA?
Well, not yet. I mean, they probably will at some point. Mm-hmm. But China, the NBA does a great job in China that other sports do not do.
Right.
And that's why. That's the good chunk of their revenue. Like when their players go to the owners, when they want to hammer out a labor deal, that infusion of cash from the Asian television marketing deals and Asian television deals that they have, that's a percentage of their revenue.
Yeah, it's true. But we have a percentage of people here in Detroit who love hockey, and what they do is they trash the NBA all the time. They don't follow it, so they erroneously say others don't follow it and don't care about it and don't spend on it. That's because they're hockey snobs.
Right.
Yeah, but there's snobs in every sport like that. That's not the whole norm.
But they specifically attack the NBA.
But because that's probably the only thing. That's just out of insecurity because you're the bottom feeder. I mean, the most apparent is follow the dollars like you're talking about. The NBA does such a great job. It's so disappointing, right? Because the NHL, and it seems like they wanted to do it the right intentions with doing ESPN, getting them back, but then they mail it in. You know, like that's the whole thing. If you're sitting here talking today and going, the NHL All-Star Game, I guess it'd be to the younger crowd and stuff like this, but it's the same fans that go along with not having the reality of the perception of your sport. That it is this big, that there are no fans, that it isn't like that. So I don't get it. You know, there's fans in every sport that'll go after someone else and say, this is wrong with your sport. No. Instead, to me, the true hockey fan realizes the game's changed. It's not my game anymore. Now it's about trying to make it more of a global game like basketball and follow that lead. Why wouldn't the NHL obviously take any politics or anything else, but to expand worldwide, having a worldwide lead, you would think that the NHL would be along with, when you think Batman would be, hey, Adam Silver, commissioner, how you doing all this stuff like this?
Yeah, but you know what?
Like, that's the one thing is like, do you know?
Finally is on ESPN. And so
yeah, but they mail it in. Their broadcasts are
they
just
didn't mail
the
it in, bro.
grossest
They put
thing
garbage
ever.
on there.
What?
They put garbage on there. So why
they don't
would you
take
come
it
back?
seriously. That's
They
what
don't.
it is. It's a
Why
joke
would
to
you
them.
come
So
back
why
to
is it a
this
joke to
sport?
everybody else?
It was probably the only time a lot of people watched the NHL. Why would you come back to this sport when they got dudes pirouetting on the damn ice? I sure as hell wouldn't. If it was the first time me seeing an NHL game, I'm like, I'm out. I don't want to see this.
Why do you think most diehard NHL fans are like, well, here, I'm going to turn it on when the playoffs start, because at least the game's back, and then they ref it differently, and then it's competition, because still the NHL playoffs are the best, the toughest trophy to win. So.
Well, let Sawyer tell you about the first time he came across a mystery beer vending machine.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful day. You know,
I
the
was
Woodward
there.
Sports Christmas party at
Changed his
D-Mac.
life.
D-Mac got me my first pull, pulled me his old faithful PBR. I mean, just straight hitters. People are sending us in what they get on social media, so
That's
we
my
know it
favorite,
works.
by the way, that's become that.
Oh, yeah.
Where people send us pictures when they're at the folding warehouse of
Yeah,
their
it's
hitters.
great.
Can
I mean, it
see
just
them
shows
when,
that it
Can we
works.
put them when you're doing the spot? We can throw them up there.
Yeah, I'll have to grab some more. We had one, but I cycled it out of the system, so
Yeah.
next time I'll grab some more so we can start
thanks,
showing.
bud.
It'll
Sorry
be
to put
good
you on the
stuff.
spot. It's just that I just feel part of it because I was there for, when you, broke your,
Yeah, we
you
broke the
got
seal
your first
on it.
one.
Yeah,
And he
now
gives
we're
you
just
no
watching
credit for
everybody.
that.
Yeah,
No, it's
great.
okay, Terry. That's a parental.
stuff.
We understand that as parents,
Okay.
right?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, hey, all you guys got to do, if you want some mystery beer or just one of their over 100 beers, you just got to go to the Folding Warehouse. It's a huge warehouse in Hamtramck. Great game. Knock some pins down with the football. Maybe get to pull a train horn if you plunk the middle pin out of there. I mean, it's such a good time. Game is created at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a place I love. Makes me love the game even more. The owner's a super nice guy. Walks around, teaches you how to play. He'll even play with you if you're lucky enough or if you need an extra person. Dude's got a cannon of an arm, so you got to check that out. And I mean, you can bring your own food. You can Uber Eats food in. Bring a picnic basket. Bring a blanket. Make yourself comfortable. Show up when they open. Pay $10. Stay till they close. All day play. Throw till your arm falls off. Drink until you need to call an Uber. Do not drink and drive. Be responsible, guys. We all know that. And, I mean, it's great. You can go there, watch the Super Bowl. You can go there, watch some NASCAR, some Formula One, NBA, NHL. They have TVs everywhere. You can do whatever you want there. Just go there, do some folding. So do me a favor. Go to thefoldingwarehouse.com. Again, that's thefoldingwarehouse.com. Or just show up in person at the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. This is Big D Energy. We got Neil back on the desk today, D-Mac on the desk, T-Foss on the couch, Sam Flannel in there making sure we sound crispy, and I'm in here keeping us live. We'll be right back on the Woodward Sports Network.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Terry Foster, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house, Sam Flannel, Sawyer, the Lord of the Folding Warehouse here today. You guys on the YouTube chat thread, our social media handles, however you're getting involved, we're glad that you are. And look, T-Foster, the time got away from me there. We got it cooking so crispy here today. We do got to get the poll up real quickly where... Storytime with T-Foss. It's choose your own adventure, like it always is. So T-Foss, give them two choices to pick from.
I'm going to do, the theme is going to be professional wrestling because D-Mac and Braylon Edwards were talking about it the last time I was here. So, do you want to hear about my encounter with the Sheik? Or
you have to vote.
Yeah.
Or my interview with Roddy Piper.
Ooh.
This should be a layup.
The real interesting
I'm getting
thing
both,
he told me.
so whatever one he gives you guys, I'm sticking around to hear the other one later.
No, if this isn't Iron Sheik, look,
Not
guys,
the Iron Sheik.
No, the Sheik, the original Sheik.
The one that threw fire at people.
Even cooler.
Right.
I know which one.
English.
I'm waiting for this thing to pop up. But as soon as this appears on the YouTube chat,
supposedly
I'm in
from
there.
Syria.
Okay.
Right.
There it is. It's up.
It is up. All right. So everybody vote.
I'm faster than Detroit Dabber getting into the thread in the mornings. Right there. Boom.
Sawyer's a bad man.
He is. So Sawyer's got that up and rocking right there. It's going to be a flash poll here today because Storytime with Terry Foster coming up in about 8 minutes or so. NASCAR Clash at the Coliseum. I watched it flag to flag. I did it for Sawyer. Sawyer's my guy. And look, you guys have heard me talk about Sawyer. D-Mac and I have talked about Sawyer before. He's my guy. I'll go before Sawyer goes. Like that's how I'm lined up with this guy. So I figured I would do him a solid, and I'll try. I'll make an honest. I've made honest efforts in the past. I have.
You do.
But I locked in yesterday, flag to flag of the Clash, not knowing. Like I knew the format, and props to Joey Logano, by the way, for the win. I mean, I did have my $5 on Chase Elliott. You know, I figure you're not going to get Chase Elliott.
Was
very
it fun
often.
to watch?
Well, I had Chase Elliott 8-1. I had to do something.
Oh, that's a no.
Yeah, I had to do something. But anyway, I didn't know it was going to be that quick. And I also didn't know Ice Cube was going to be on at halftime. If I'd have known that.
Was that the bonus? Did that put it over the top?
It was a bonus. It was a bonus.
Absolutely.
But here's my assessment, D-Mac, of a non-NASCAR guy watching NASCAR flag to flag. That, I thought, was the perfect race. And Sawyer kind of broke it down. I texted him after, and he kind of broke down the reasons of why they did it, everything. I thought that was the perfect race for a non-NASCAR person to watch because, A, it moved. And what have I always said about soccer, college softball, all these things that are having such ratings jumps? Why?
Because they're quick.
They move.
There's action.
They move.
Now
They move.
you see what's going.
It's a quarter-mile track.
Which is the smallest. Like, so they don't race on quarter mile. They race on half-mile track, which is probably the smallest, which more, there's, right, Sawyer? Like, the half-mile is the smallest. So this is half that size. And you hear the drivers that go out there and to be able to create it. It shows you, Neil, like, I'll let you finish, but did you get a different perspective after the race?
No, but the thing of it was, yeah, I did get a different perspective of it. The only thing, it was kind of cheesy at times, and T-Foss, I'll go to you on this. Here's the problem they run into, I think, in the NASCAR and the NASCAR broadcast, where they seem awkward when you're trying to get a new audience involved, right? Like we talk about hockey elite. We always talk about the hockey elite people that they look down on new fans almost, and the glow puck and all that kind of stuff. It just, all the NASCAR Blue Bloods seem very awkward with this fast movement, Ice Cube at halftime, having a halftime, being in LA, all of it. Like they seem very awkward, and it was kind of cheesy at times. But all in all, I liked the product. I liked the way it moved, and it was over in 2 hours, man. I wasn't expecting that. Like I was sitting down to do some work for the week upcoming, and it was over in 2 hours, and they're like, "There's 10 laps left," and I'm like, "What?" And there we were, T-Foss. Are you a NASCAR fan or no? Like, not a fan. Will you turn it on?
I used to be the auto writer at the Free Press, and I covered NASCAR. So I've covered Daytona 500, the Indy 500, the Michigan 500s, even though the Michigans are 400-mile races and they have different names. So I've covered NASCAR events of those three tracks. I like it. I enjoy the people. And, I was coming over here on my Quaker State Ford
Fusion?
Ford Fusion MasterCard car, and, everything was great. But I think, NASCAR has such technical terms because it's auto engines that if you don't watch it consistently, you feel like you're left out. So he just mentions something about a carburetor or something. I have no idea what he's talking about. And then when you go to Formula One, it's even more complicated than that. NASCAR people don't understand Formula One because the computers that they use are so complicated that you feel left out. All I know is the cars go fast. All I know is the pit stops are interesting. But, all this vernacular and all this talk and everything, you can keep it.
Second gear. Wasn't first gear, but they ran in second gear all yesterday. So it's a little bit because of the and
see, that's what I'm talking. I saw that comment too, D-Mac.
They
and that's
fed to the fan base and trying to create. They realized here's what NASCAR does. Their self-awareness is great as part of that. And to your point, Terry, yeah, there are. I always look at Larry McNuggets with his McNuggets. If you follow NASCAR, especially like on Fox or throughout, you will learn different things because they have the way that they're explained or stuff like this with the Formula One too. But I think, Neil, to hear all I want to hear is from a green race fan or whatever was that you were entertained, because that's exactly what NASCAR was going for. Going to the LA, going to the Coliseum. That was all about the new fan. It was nothing about the old fan, whatever like that. But the old fan realizes what they're trying to do to bring you in to have this conversation so that the next race, which will be different, there won't be anyone like that, which is Daytona. It's the force feed that you're going to tune into Daytona now, right?
Neil, would you go back?
I'll watch Daytona out of respect to Sawyer and D-Mac and for the show and for the bits and all that stuff. I will.
What about Pocono or something like that?
Good one.
Is that a road course?
No, it's the tricky triangle. So it's got, instead of the normal oval, it's just a three-turn guy.
How about this? Some weekend, let's go to the race at Michigan.
We're locked in. We're hooked up there. You want to go in June or you want to go in August? We're all going. I got that dialed in.
All right. We should do a show from there.
Well, there it is.
Maybe that Friday?
Dialed in. We're going to do it. We'll do a show and then we'll interview guys.
Get your boy, get Brad Kozlowski out here, man.
Yep, exactly.
Let's get Rochester's own.
And Neil, we can cook out there.
Absolutely. We'll go tailgate the weekend. There you go. Big D. At least, for the race. The
Gypsy Vodka.
Race day, I've been out to 2 races now. Got to drive the pace car, got to be the Grand Marshal and stuff like this, but to hang out for the day and watch all the races and trucks.
I'm in. I'll do it.
So enjoyable.
Do you need earplugs?
I guess just kind of depends on what you want to do. Do you want
where I'm going to take
no?
you, yes.
All right, there you go.
But for the most part, no.
For the most part, no.
He's going to take you where everybody can't go. So
my girl Hutch out there hooked me up. She showed me all the cool spots to watch from, like where you can get up on MAS and stand at the top and watch see the whole field.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty cool. I'll go hang out with T-Foss, too, and then I'll need Motrin, too. I'll need Motrin and earplugs.
You will, of course. We're going to do it right.
Neil Rule here for the Sports Marketing Agency. Get your votes in on the YouTube chat poll. Do you want to hear Terry Foster's story about the Sheik?
50-50 right now.
Or with Roddy Piper?
I've never seen it.
We'll let it run.
There's 1,000 votes in it. It's 50-50.
Yeah, we'll let it run right here through the commercial, and then when we come back, we'll make the decision. But SMA's been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Soon, here at Woodward Sports, the Sports Marketing Agency podcast entitled This is the F Word. It's a series on fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, that's thesportsma.com. And coming soon to Woodward Sports, their podcast, This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl. It's a sports marketing agency.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
No off-season for us. We're talking sports. 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Sawyer, and of course, old Uncle Terry, T-Foss. Storytime with T-Foss coming up now. Real quickly, wrapping up that NASCAR discussion. Cody Engel says NASCAR needs to drop a show similar to F1 on Netflix. I would agree with that. Rob Swift said the racetrack sucks. I didn't think it sucked. I think Mountain Road at 6 Mile sucks. But I thought the racetrack was pretty cool.
It's probably too small for a lot of people.
Yeah, they just again the Blue Bloods hated it. I know they did. Just listening to them talk about it, they hated it. They hate new fans. They don't want new
fans. It wasn't for them. Next week's for them.
Yeah, next week is for them. But the YouTube chat poll was closed. Roddy Piper with 52% of the vote. So,
made a big run at the end.
Yeah, did make a big run at the end. So choose your adventure, T-Foss. The people want to hear about your story, your encounter with Roddy Piper.
All right, Roddy Piper was at the WrestleMania 3, and I covered that for the newspaper. I didn't think you could talk to wrestlers, but you could. So I got to talk to Roddy Piper. He told me a story. As a kid, he was hard-headed, just a hard-headed guy. And so his dad was trying to discipline him. And I asked him, well, how did he do that? He said, man, my old man took a can of green beans, smacked me right upside the head, and that's how he got my attention. And he said, that's probably why I'm so crazy now. Because his old man used to take a can of, not peas or corn and everything, he would take a can of green beans and smack him upside the head.
I don't think it matters.
Listen to me, boy.
What can it would be? But so this happened more than what? Did you get sort of a vibe on how many times this happened?
It seemed like it had a few times. He was a crazy dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's wearing his little kilt and he's talking like this and everything. But it's
all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's the first time I had a interview with a wrestler.
Could you believe the grip WrestleMania 3 had on this town?
Oh, yeah. It was crazy. And they said it was 93,000 and something. Now there's people trying to dispute that there was 93,000 there. I think there was.
I've seen photos from inside there, and that's as full as you.
That's as full as it could be. I was there. That was as full as it could be.
What's that?
I was there with my dad. Like that's as full as a Silverdome because every seat was taken and all the seats on the floor.
If all the seats are taken in the upper tiers, that's 80,400. Then you put a bunch of seats all over the Lions football field. That's got to be 10,000 seats there. So to me,
and this the WWF or WWE has been known to exaggerate the numbers.
Work,
there's the pic. Like you
look at
we've
that.
been there. We live there. Like people have gone to Lions game. I think there's probably more. Right? That looks more like Michigan Stadium than anything. Plus the fans that rush the field. What an unbelievable spectacle that is.
It is. It was crazy.
And the folks were crazy too, man. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Oh, I was going to ask you, Sawyer. You, Dan Campbell, showing off the arm.
Oh yeah, look at this video I found.
I do have to see this because you told me you said Dan Campbell needs to go to the Fulling warehouse. Let me see.
Look at that. It's the first throw he makes. Everyone else is kind of soft, but he just whips that thing. Probably be good at bowling too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh no, what about disc?
Oh, a little disc golf.
Imagine his
disc golf game.
Yeah, his disc golf game. What's he throwing out?
It looked like candy or like granola bars. I don't even know.
Probably Reese's peanut butter cups or something like that. I know they were a big sponsor of the Senior Bowl.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. What we get accomplished today, Terry? Feel like we accomplished anything?
I think we did. I think we accomplished that. Michigan people are nuts. I think we accomplished that because Josh Gattis was the greatest thing since sliced bread a week ago. Now he sucks. I think we established a bunch of stuff. That Neil should get what's a little something
indignant.
Indignant, right? I'm so indignant.
I want to see Neil's top 10 favorite words that D-Mac has to look up.
Should I get a bougie list for you?
The bouge, yeah.
The bougie word of the day.
Sultry bouge list. So you can give us a look behind the curtain a little bit on your preparation and how you make the Oakland Grizzly and the Detroit City football sound so eloquent.
Yeah, it's flippant. That's it. Am I ever flippant, Terry?
Of course.
You're more indignant than you are flippant.
Which one would it be?
Indignant.
All right.
Outraged.
This will not stand. I think that's a good place to leave it before everybody turns on me. Appreciate T-Foss coming through, man. Love
Always.
it.
Thank
Love
you.
rapping with you, man. No doubt about it. D-Mac, good to be back with you.
Good to
be
be
back again tomorrow. I'll be out after that, but that's a final road trip of the regular season. We're good to March Madness.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of like, exactly. We're only going out for a little bit. It becomes a staple. Sawyer, you're going to be here, though, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good.
All right. Sam Flannel, good job out of you, Sawyer. Good
Sammy
work
Flannel.
here today. All you guys, YouTube chat thread. I mean, you guys had it popping today. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you tomorrow. Big D
Deuces.
Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.